Amid the many tattered missing person flyers, a family tiptoes barefoot through the ruins of a ghost town. Inside an abandoned store, Evelyn Abbott quietly searches through shelves of prescription bottles for medicine for her sick son, Marcus. She gives him a dose, then uses sign language to reassure her deaf daughter, Reagan, that he will be fine. Nearby, the youngest child, Beau, is drawing a picture of a rocket. He signs to his sister that a rocket will take them away from this place. When he reaches up for a toy space shuttle, it slips, but Reagan catches it before it hits the floor. Their father, Lee, scavenges electronics and tools, including parts for a radio and cutting pliers for Reagan. As the family prepares to leave, Beau holds the space shuttle toy in his hands. Lee gently takes it from him and removes the batteries, signing, "Too loud." As they depart, Reagan secretly gives the toy back, and Beau pockets the batteries. The Abbotts walk home along a sand path they have created to mask their footsteps. When they reach a wooden bridge, the electronic sound of the toy suddenly echoes through the forest. Lee sprints toward his son, but before he can reach him, an unseen creature rushes from the trees and kills Beau. Silence falls again, heavy and absolute. Months later, on day 472, the family lives on their isolated farm. In the basement, Lee maintains an elaborate setup of cameras, monitors, and radio equipment as he searches for other survivors. Newspaper clippings plaster the walls, describing an invasion of creatures that are blind but hunt by sound. His notes read, "Blind, attack sound, armor." Evelyn, now pregnant, prepares a soundproof crib with an oxygen mask for the baby. Life is fragile but persistent. At dinner, the family eats soft food from lettuce leaves to avoid clinking plates. Afterward, Reagan and Marcus play Monopoly, but a lantern is knocked over and sets a rug ablaze. Lee quickly extinguishes the fire, and they freeze in terror, waiting for a response from the creatures. Nothing comes, only a raccoon scurrying across the roof. Later, Lee works on another version of Reagan's hearing aid. Evelyn joins him, and together they share a rare moment of peace, listening to Harvest Moon through shared earbuds and swaying to its rhythm. The next morning, Evelyn checks her pregnancy. The heartbeat is strong, the due date only weeks away. Reagan tries to enter the basement, but Lee stops her and offers her the new hearing aid he has made. She refuses, frustrated that his devices never work. When Lee prepares to leave on an outing, Marcus protests in fear, and Reagan offers to go instead. He tells her to stay with her mother, and she storms off, heartbroken. At a nearby river, Lee teaches Marcus that small sounds can be safe when louder noises, like the waterfall, mask them. They talk freely for the first time. Marcus asks why Lee didn't let Reagan come and whether he blames her for Beau's death. Lee says it wasn't her fault. Marcus urges him to tell her he still loves her. Meanwhile, Reagan visits the wooden bridge where Beau died. She unwraps the space shuttle toy she had saved and uses her pliers to disconnect the sound wires so that it lights up silently, a small tribute to her lost brother. Back home, Evelyn carries laundry up from the basement when the bag catches on a loose nail. She pulls it free and accidentally exposes the nail's sharp tip. Moments later, while Lee and Marcus encounter an old man mourning his dead wife in the forest, the man suddenly screams in anguish, drawing a creature that kills him instantly. Lee shields Marcus and runs for safety. At the farm, Evelyn's water breaks. On her way downstairs, she steps on the exposed nail. She nearly screams, but manages to stifle it. The sound of shattering picture frames draws a creature into the house. In agony, Evelyn switches on the red lights strung around the property. A silent signal of danger. She sets a kitchen timer on a shelf. The creature descends into the basement, clicking and searching. When the timer rings, it attacks the noise, giving her a chance to escape upstairs. Outside, Lee and Marcus see the red lights. Lee tells his son to set off the fireworks, the distraction they prepared for this very moment. Evelyn hides in the bathroom, giving birth in the bathtub as the creature prowls nearby. When the fireworks explode outside, it covers the sounds of her labor. Lee rushes in and finds the tub empty and blood-stained. Believing she's dead, he weeps until he finds her safe in the shower, holding their newborn baby. Marcus runs through the cornfield, chased by a creature. Reagan returns and sees his flashlight, but cannot hear the monster closing in. Her hearing aid suddenly emits a piercing feedback that drives the creature away. She finds Marcus unconscious and drags him to the top of the grain silo. Lee places Evelyn and the baby in the flooded basement for safety, promising to protect them. But water begins to rise, and a creature slips into the room. Evelyn hides behind the waterfall of flooding water, clutching her child in silence. At the silo, Marcus signs, "He'll come for us." Reagan shakes her head, "He'll come for you." Suddenly, the silo hatch collapses, and Marcus falls into the grain. Reagan jumps in to save him. The alien from the basement, drawn by the noise, crashes into the silo. Reagan's hearing aid once again emits its painful feedback, forcing the creature to flee through the wall. Reagan and Marcus climb into a nearby pickup truck. Lee arrives, grabbing an axe, but the creature attacks before he can strike. When Marcus screams, the monster turns toward the truck. Reagan turns off the feedback, and the alien advances. Lee looks at his children one last time and signs, "I love you. I have always loved you." Then he shouts, sacrificing himself so they can escape. Reagan and Marcus release the brake, letting the truck roll down the hill to the farmhouse where Evelyn waits. Reunited, they retreat into the basement. For the first time, Reagan sees her father's workspace, his endless efforts to repair her hearing device. On his notes, one question stands out: what is their weakness? As the lights flicker and the creature descends the stairs, Reagan understands. She places the hearing aid against a microphone, amplifying its feedback. The alien convulses, shrieking in pain. Evelyn takes aim with the shotgun and fires, blowing its head apart. On the surveillance monitors, more creatures can be seen racing toward the house. Reagan turns the volume up on the amplifier. Evelyn pumps the shotgun, ready for the next wave. For the first time, they are not afraid.